To save the life of Eversalt's ruling lady, Refoew, a Bedine witch and Harper agent, infiltrates the palace of a Shao prince and uncovers a murderous conspiracy. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Tory Denning's The Veiled Dragon. The Veiled Dragon is a 1996 novel by Tory Denning. It is technically number 12 in the Harper series, and sequel to the Parched Sea, which is number 1 in the Harper series. And of course, this is a Forgotten Realms series, and a lot of these series are loosely connected, but largely full of standalones, since they are just connected by a theme. And in the case of the Harpers, that theme is the Harpers organization. Now, this is, of course, since a sequel to Parched Sea, it is about Refoew, and she has finished her quests in the Anorak Desert, her homeland, and she has officially joined the Harpers. Her husband died at the beginning of the Parched Sea, and then her lover dies near the end of the Parched Sea. For those who have read it, of course, this has spoilers. It already says that. For the first book, obviously, it has spoilers. It doesn't have spoilers for this book, but Refoew starts off this book in the Dragon Mirror on a caravel piloted by Captain Fowler, a half-orc with the classic piggish snouts, and not exactly what orcs look like these days for the most part. After adventures in the desert of Anorak, her homeland, she is now in the employ of the Harpers again. She is assigned by Storm Silverhand to get to the city of Pros. She's already had another assignment in Vunlar where she botched her job and 100 people ended up in slavery when she failed to stop these slavers. We don't have that story as far as I'm aware. It's definitely not told in a novel. Maybe it's in a short story somewhere. But this trip at sea, though, quickly turns deadly as a dragon is spotted. The cover, I think, on this book will give some of this encounter away, but it's honestly quite cool. And it's a very exciting and I think a great start to the tale. We also get some great descriptions right away. Something like a water dune, for example, means wave, since Refoew is from the desert and not used to large bodies of water at all. We also have some Shao characters, like the Bedine. These are analogous to a real-world group, not something Ed Greenwood originally came up with when he made the Forgotten Realms. I don't think these would be written today, mostly for the Orientalist reasons. Why I myself don't really care for such an obvious real-world inspiration playing a role, that makes Faerun Europe when it's not. The Shao themselves are not deemed lesser than any other cultures, although there was kind of a problem, with tropes. And the English the Shao speak with, at least in the book, right? Of course, because no one's speaking English technically, right? It's definitely a trope that hasn't aged well, I think. After this and the Parched Sea, I really needed something better from the realms, as, again, there's two, the Bedines and then the Shao, like, being really analogous, and both pretty Orientalist. I don't think these stories are just the best. The Parched Sea is not bad, and the Veiled Dragon isn't terrible, but it's definitely not that good. In fact, the opening scenes are way better than the rest. In fact, the opening scene works really well, I feel like, as a short story as well. I mean, besides the fact that we know she's going somewhere and there is a bigger plot involved, if that was just cut out, it'd make a phenomenal short story, I think. It was really cool. But the rest of the book is just kind of downhill from there. But that is what is, and that happens sometimes when you get Dungeons & Dragons fiction anyhow. So I'll catch you next time.